This is Barely Heard, a Tessa Flint FBI suspense thriller, Book 2, written by Molly Black, read by Caroline. Prologue. The frigid air bit at Rachel's cheeks as she carved her way down the mountain, twin trails of powder marking her descent. The moon cast an ethereal glow over the private ski slope that had become her go-to location for burning off some stress. This was where she felt alive, away from the clamour of competitive circuits and the weight of expectations, where she could hone her craft on her own terms. Rachel Coolidge leaned into the turn, her snowboard responding instantly, edges biting into the hard-packed snow with guided precision. The sound of her heartbeat thrummed in her ears, merging with the hiss of her board, slicing through the night, and she was the only one out here, all alone on this perfect slope. Of course, she had to pay a hefty price for such a privilege, but it was worth it. She relished the solitude, the way the shadows played across the snow-covered pines, creating an illusion of movement where there was none. She pushed herself faster, welcoming the rush, the sense of teetering on the edge of control. It was a familiar intoxication, one that had driven her ever since she first strapped into a board at 6 years old, propelled by an insatiable hunger for speed and the thrill of competition. The slope ahead was steep, a tempting challenge, and she accepted it without hesitation. Dropping low, she became a blur against the canvas of white and darkness, each breath forming a fleeting cloud that lingered behind her. Her muscles tensed and relaxed in a practiced cadence, honed from years of competition and the relentless pursuit of perfection. But tonight was not about medals or accolades. It was just Rachel and the mountain, two old friends catching up. The descent was nearing its end, the base of the slope approaching too quickly for her liking. She figured she could do down one more time, but after that, she'd have to stop. She needed to rest her knees and ankles. There was an upcoming competition to think of, after all. Plus, it was getting late, the clock inching closer to midnight. When the run came to an end, she stood at the bottom of the slope and looked back up with a smile. She'd mastered this run years ago, but the familiarity of it always made her appreciative of how far she'd come in her career. She started on the small slopes at Sugarloaf and now, at the age of 24, knew all of the slopes and runs at that famous Maine ski resort, like the back of her hand. The ones over at Sunday River, too. So when she'd been able to afford it, she'd sought out these private, more challenging runs that her concentration snapped when she noticed the faint, silver glint coming from one of the spruce trees to her right. There, where the run ended, there was a safety wall installed directly in front of a massive grove of spruce trees.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?